event to start the first of many launch events that I'm going to be hosting over the next 3 or 4 weeks. And I'll just give you a little bit of breakdown about myself and where I've come from and what I do. About 18 months ago, I came up with the idea, along with my business partner, to set up a football academy with semi-professional football clubs. I'm a manager myself at semi-professional football level. I know we've got Derek who manages Burscough Football Club, and I'm very passionate. So if I do start racing away, just sort of do that, and I'll slow myself down. But I'm very passionate about what I'm about to talk about tonight, because it's something that I've been working on for a long time, and something I firmly believe can not only benefit Burscough Football Club, but the community as a whole, because we're embracing young people, we're developing young people, not just as footballers, but with their education as well, which I'll speak to you about. The NPL Academy, it's an education program, okay? This isn't about us taking young people just to play football. We want to educate young people, not just develop footballs. We want to educate personal skills, leadership skills, communication skills, enable them to further themselves and develop a career, whether that be in sport or other occupations that the education of the BTEC that we're doing can take them to. So it is an education program that we're developing. We're developing the program across 10 Evo Stick Premier Leagues. Now, you might come across the odd... you're right, yeah, just die quietly there. Yeah. You might come across lots of bespoke programs. And I think Burscough, up until us developing the program, we're going to just develop their own bespoke program, and then we're going to play in a college league, which we took on board a couple of years ago, that we can develop a program and actually develop it as a semi-professional football education program. So the young people, not only will they be involved with a highly educated program, but they're going to be involved with football clubs like Burscough and like all the other clubs that we've got involved. There's a pathway for young play, because when I take myself back to being 16, if someone would have offered me this opportunity, I'd have probably given both arms and both legs and jumped on the bandwagon and gone for it. And we're using football as an engagement tool to develop young boys, not just football-wise, but obviously with an education, because it's a level 3 BTEC education program. It's not something that has just been developed and we're just creating. We're actually giving them an opportunity to develop themselves and move on into a university type of education as well, if that's the route that they want to go down. We want to try and develop the coaches of tomorrow, the teachers of tomorrow, masseurs, sports therapists. We've got a couple of ambassadors for our program. One, Craig Dawson, who's now plays in the Premier League for West Bromwich Albion. Rod Thornley, who's he's the England and Man United masseur. There's other lads as well who've been and played in the Evo Stick Premier League or the Evo Stick North, First and South Divisions, who have gone on and done very, very well out of the game, and they've been given the opportunity because it's a lifestyle program. Because again, Derek will tell you, when you represent Burscough Football Club or a football club at this level of football, it's not just about your ability; it's about your attitude, how strong you are mentally, and we hopefully within the education program and the football program, we can develop that in young people. So what I would say is it's not just a football program where you can come along and just have a bit of a jolly up and they train and play. It's a fully bona fide quality education program that we want the young people to be involved in. But it's an education program that gives young people an opportunity to go on to university, a foundation degree. We're working with a couple of universities and developing our own foundation degree. So that's the next step for us that we're looking to achieve. So we're not just giving a level 3 qualification, we're actually giving the young people, hopefully by the time they finish the 2-year program, an education within a degree course as well, a foundation degree. So there's lots and lots of things that we're looking to do. But I think just congratulations again to Burscough Football Club for getting so many people in the room tonight and showing what they're trying to do, not just with the Evo Stick and just developing the community. It's magnificent, and I'm sure this program will be a great success for not just the football club, but the young people that come onto the program as well. So thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for inviting me down this evening, and thank you to Veronica for sorting this all out. I was speaking at a conference at Edgehill University, similar sort of theme as this, to try and get across the work we do at Everton Football Club. And Veronica was there in the audience and asked me to come along and try and impart some of that learning down here at Burscough. You know, I was delighted to take that opportunity to do that, because that's what makes us proud, the fact that Everton can do that. We've come a long way in a very short space of time, which I'll show you this evening as we go through the presentation. And hopefully you can see that it's not out of the reach of every other football club. And I speak to lots and lots of clubs throughout the country and across Europe about the work that we do. And as I said, it's not too difficult to move away from sort of the line of thinking that football is everything we're about, and actually expanding our horizons a little bit as a football club to touch upon all areas of people's lives. So hopefully I can do that this evening. I did notice actually when Veronica sent the note out about tonight, she's quoted me alongside Nelson Mandela. So if I can be half as inspiring as him, you know, I've obviously done a good job. What I'll do, I'll click all the slides on, so I'm not going back to it all the time. We were established in 1988. We were one of the first football clubs to set up a community scheme. There was about six or seven clubs at the time that went down this route. The reason we done that reflects largely upon the situation in the communities at that time. The 1980s, not too dissimilar from today, actually, we're seeing some of the same issues of the austerity measures that are happening across the country. And predominantly at that time, lots of young men out of work, not feeling a part of society, and unfortunately, you know, finding friendship in a sort of negative scenario with their football club, which led to a lot of the football hooliganism and violence that was prevalent throughout the 1980s. And as a football club, we felt as if it was our role and our responsibility to try and do something about that. So our first schemes back in the 80s were largely targeted at sort of disillusioned young men and trying to get them engaged, re-engaged, you know, through sport. There was some employment schemes taking place at the time. In the 25 years that have passed, as I said, it's been phenomenal growth. In 2004, we set ourselves up as a standalone charity. And I'm always asked why we've done that. A lot of the football clubs in the country, the community schemes, have set up as charities. And that is because that gives us a degree of autonomy. It allows us to set our own agenda. You know, aside from the football club, we're not dictated to as such. We can really respond to community need. And we can access different sources of funding that we wouldn't normally have accessed. The challenge was many years back when I was trying to source funding for the community scheme. People were saying, because football has got millions of pounds, you know, filtering through it every single day, and obviously in the players' pockets, people couldn't quite understand why I was asking them for grant income. But we've changed that perception as well. We really are a very successful standalone charity, the football club. Having said that, we still are the football club in every sense. We're the community arm of the club. We're supported with a lot of infrastructure. They manage our HR, our finance. They provide us with our kit, our location at the stadium, marketing, press and PR. So we get that whole wraparound support from the club, and they're very proud to have us on board. So as I said, it was using the power of Everton Football Club, and it was the symbol of what that club meant to people across Merseyside to get them engaged. And even today, that ethos hasn't changed at all. It's all about using that powerful badge and brand, whatever you want to call it, to connect with people. And it's not all Evertonians, and this is the point where I'm going to wrap myself out, because I'm a Liverpool fan, and I've been all my life, and I've followed Liverpool all over Europe. But you know, I'm passionate about what we do as Everton Football Club. We engage, as it says there, more than 13,000 people every single year across our schemes. We're definitely considered the largest community scheme in the country in terms of numbers of people engaged. And as you'll see, the number of staff we have on board. We've got 65 full-time members of the team, more than 70 casual staff, got 24 apprentices, and more than 130 volunteers. And our volunteer base is growing all the time. Many years back when I started, our volunteering programme was very informal. It was a bit part of someone's job, one of the coach's jobs. About 5 years ago, I was determined to formalise that process because I realised how powerful our volunteers were who were on board on our schemes at the time. Since that point, we got significant funding for it. We brought on a professional volunteering manager. full wraparound service for volunteers, and that base has just grown incredibly. And I would say that volunteers are the lifeblood, still the lifeblood of everything that we do. They bring that real expertise and insight from the community. They bring skills, they bring enthusiasm. You know, from students who are still at university to older people who've retired and still want to offer something to the local area. All different types volunteer with us, and we're grateful to have them.